Good morning, fourth graders. We are today starting natural resources, and we're going to start out with a passage because the passages have all of the good vocabulary and do a good job explaining things as an introduction to the topic. So go ahead and put your name on your passage if you have not already done so. I'm going to label this one as the key because that's what I'll end up making it. These are going to be 4 points each. And so each one that you miss will take 4 points off of your paper. I am not going to give the paragraph numbers for the questions. I am going to do oral admin with the passage and help you with the notes by each paragraph. And I'm going to read through the questions, but I'm not going to give paragraph numbers this time because Ms. Whitaker says I'm giving you way too much help by doing that. So here we go, natural resources, paragraph 1. Earth has many natural resources. A natural resource is a material found in the environment that is used by humans. Oil, water, oxygen, and sunlight are some natural resources that humans use. Natural resources are used in many ways. Some natural resources are used to provide energy, such as light and heat. Other natural resources are used to make things. Natural resources are used to make paper, glass, and plastic. Okay, so for this one, we have one vocabulary word. A natural resource is a material found in the environment that is used by humans. And this whole paragraph was just about that vocabulary word. We have natural resources. Okay, paragraph 2. There are different types of natural resources. One type of natural resource cannot be replaced, or they take many years to be replaced. Once these resources are used up, there will be no more left. A natural resource that can be used up and is not replaced is called a non-renewable resource. Fossil fuels are examples of non-renewable resources. A fossil fuel is a natural resource that has energy from fossil remains of organisms. Fossil fuels are burned to produce heat energy that can be used to run cars or heat buildings. Fossil fuels are also used to produce electricity at a power plant. Fossil fuels were formed from the decaying remains of plants and animals that existed millions of years ago. So I have 2 vocabulary. I have a natural resource that can be used up and is not replaced, is non-renewable. And then I also have a fossil fuel is a natural resource that has energy from the fossil remains of organisms. So those 2 things is what I would say this paragraph is about. Right? This paragraph is about non-renewables, and it's also about fossil fuels. Okay, here we go for paragraph 3. Many people do not fully understand how fossil fuels were formed. It all started with plants. Plants absorb sunlight in order to make food. Ancient plants absorbed sunlight. The energy from the sun was stored in the plants as chemical energy. When animals ate the plants, some of the chemical energy was stored inside the bodies of the animals. When ancient plants and animals died, their decaying remains were often covered by soil. Over time, the plant and animal remains, along with the soil, formed layers. Over millions of years, the particles of sand and soil were pressed together and formed solid rock. The remains of the plants and animals were stuck in the solid rock and became fossils. Heat and pressure changed the remains into oil, coal, and natural gas. This is why oil, coal, and natural gas are called fossil fuels. There is a limited amount of fossil fuels inside the earth. Once they are used up, there will be no more available. This is why fossil fuels are called non-renewable resources. So, no new vocabulary, and this is about how fossil fuels form. Okay, that tells me how they form. It also gives me more specific information about which of our natural resources are considered fossil fuels. We'll go to paragraph 4. Okay, paragraph 4. Oil, or petroleum, is a liquid fossil fuel found beneath Earth's surface. Its color is usually brown or black. Petroleum is used to make different types of fuel, including gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and kerosene. It is also used to make products such as wax, plastic, fertilizer, and grease. Natural gas is another type of fossil fuel. It is made mostly of methane and is found over petroleum deposits under Earth's surface. It is used for heating buildings and making electricity. It can even be used in some automobiles. Another common fossil fuel is coal. Coal is a solid fossil fuel that is formed from decaying plants. Most coal is burned in power plants to make electricity. Okay, so we have oil or petroleum. It's a liquid fossil fuel. We have natural gas. And I would say it says natural gas is another type of fossil fuel, but then here they're kind of defining it. And then coal is a solid fossil fuel from the decaying plants. And so we have coal, oil, and natural gas is what that paragraph is all about. Basically, the things that we highlighted. Okay, paragraph 5. Another type of non-renewable resource is called a mineral. A mineral is a thin, solid substance in nature not formed from living things. Each mineral has certain physical properties. The properties include hardness and color, among others. Examples of minerals are diamonds, salt, and sulfur. Minerals are used in many different ways. Diamonds are used to make jewelry. Graphite is used in pencils. Other minerals are used in construction. Like fossil fuels, minerals take millions of years to form. Okay, so our whole paragraph is about minerals. And that is our vocabulary word right there. Okay, paragraph 6. One more type of non-renewable resource is metals. Examples of metals include gold, copper, aluminum, and iron. Most metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. Metals are used to make jewelry. They are also used to make buildings and bridges. So, no new vocabulary, and this is where I find information about metals. That's an M. It's hard to see with the camera. Okay. Paragraph 7. Some resources can be used over and over again. A renewable resource is a natural resource that nature can replace regularly. For example, we can cut down trees to use the wood. We can replace the trees by planting new ones. The new trees will grow and become useful. Renewable resources include trees, plants, animals, water, oxygen, and soil. Plants and animals can reproduce in a short period of time. Water goes through the water cycle. Water that evaporates will return to Earth, often as liquid rain. In the same way, oxygen is used by animals. Plants produce more oxygen through photosynthesis. Soil can be used over and over again. Decaying organisms keep adding nutrients to soil so plants can continue to grow. Renewable resources can be replaced within a relatively short amount of time. So this paragraph is about renewable resources. All right, paragraph 8. Energy can come from some inexhaustible resources. An inexhaustible resource is a natural resource that is unlimited. Windmills use wind energy to turn turbines. The turbines then produce electricity, which is used by humans. Solar energy is absorbed by solar panels to make electricity. Even the energy of ocean waves and tides can be used to make electricity. Solar energy, wind energy, and ocean waves and tides are all inexhaustible resources. They can be used over and over again, and they never run out. Okay. So we have a vocabulary word. Sometimes these inexhaustible resources are called alternative energies because we can use them alternatively to the fossil fuels. So that's one thing I wanted to point out. So this is all about inexhaustible resources. Okay. We will go to paragraph 9. Paragraph 9. Many of Earth's resources can be used up. That is why it is important to practice conservation. Conservation is the wise use of natural resources. Much of conservation is focused on energy. Most of our energy comes from fossil fuels. Energy conservation is the practice of using less non-renewable forms of energy, such as the fossil fuels. Eventually, fossil fuels will be used up. Using less fossil fuels now means there will be more in the future. As people use less fossil fuels for energy, they will need to use other energy sources. Some other energy sources include wind, solar energy, hydroelectric dams, and geothermal energy. Geothermal energy is heat energy naturally produced within Earth. So we have one vocabulary word. Conservation is the wise use of natural resources. And this whole paragraph is about conservation, but mostly conservation of energy. Just how we cannot use the fossil fuels and use other things. Okay, paragraph 10. Another way to conserve natural resources is to recycle. Recycle means to take used materials and make new materials. Many items can be recycled. Aluminum cans, glass, batteries, tires, and plastic are just a few. Recycling means that less natural resources are needed to make the same products. Many items can simply be used again. Paper and plastic bags can be used many times. A compost pile is a good way to reuse plant material. The decaying plant material can eventually be used as fertilizer to grow new plants. So we have vocabulary word of recycle, which means to take used materials and make new materials. Okay, and so this is about recycling. And it also talked about reusing. So we have like reducing the energy, reusing the things, and recycling to make new things, which will come back up later in this week. Okay, last paragraph. Conservation is useful in many ways. It helps us to use less natural resources. It helps reduce pollution caused by burning fossil fuels. Conservation helps make sure that future generations will have a clean environment and enough natural resources. So this is about conservation too, but this is why conservation is important. I'm just going to put conservation, and it's important. All right, we're going to go into questions. And again, I'm not going to give you paragraph numbers, but you can use the notes that we made along the sides to help you locate information. But I am going through the questions for oral admin for my students who need that. Number 1, which is not an inexhaustible resource? A, solar energy, B, wind, C, tides, D, oil. Okay, so since this is the first one, we're looking for keywords that help us know where to go back. It's asking me about inexhaustible resources. It's really asking me which is not, but if I go find that paragraph about inexhaustible resources, then I should be able to figure this question out. Number 2, another name for oil is A, natural gas, B, petroleum, C, coal, D, diesel. And again, pause the video as you need to go back to locate answers. Number 3, which is a renewable resource? A, jet fuel, B, plants, C, coal, D, minerals. Number 4, which is not a natural resource? A, plastic, B, water, C, fossil fuels, D, oxygen. Again, I'm going to focus on that word not. Number 5, which resource takes the shortest amount of time to form? A, minerals, B, trees, C, metals, D, natural gas. So if it takes a short amount of time, then it's something that we can replace. Number 6, most of our energy comes from A, fossil fuels, B, wind, C, wood, D, ocean waves. So it's talking about where our energy comes from. Number 7, what type of resource is soil? So we're looking for a type, which would be A, inexhaustible, B, non-renewable, C, renewable, or D, it's not a resource. You may have to go back to each of these to find where soil was. Or maybe you remember. Number 8, what type of energy is produced within Earth? So we're looking for a type of energy inside the Earth. A, solar energy, B, electricity, C, geothermal energy, D, wind. Okay, remember all of these are in the passage. Okay, fill in the blank. Again, all of these are in the passage for this page as well. So all you have to do is go back and find this sentence. Number 1, conservation helps reduce blank caused by burning fossil fuels. Okay, so something about conservation, and it's reducing something. Number 2, most metals are good conductors of blank and blank. It's talking about the metals. Number 3, natural gas is found over blank under Earth's surface. Go find where it talks about natural gas. Number 4, the energy from the sun is stored in plants as blank. Number 5, petroleum is used to make different types of blank. That word's our key word there. Number 6, blank and blank change plant and animal remains into oil, coal, and natural gas. Okay, remember oil, coal, and natural gas are our fossil fuels, so this is how the fossil fuels are formed, because we're changing them. Number 7, there is a blank amount of fossil fuels inside the Earth. Number 9, most coal is burned in power plants to make blank. Okay, you have to find those sentences to fill in the blanks. Okay, last page is the vocabulary. Literally, it's every word that we have already highlighted with its definition, okay? So you can do it 2 ways, right? You can start at number 1, go find number 1, or you can just start at your first highlighted word and find that one. It's going to be on there, right? So natural resource is number 6, and then find the highlighted definition over here. I want to double check for natural gas. Okay, we highlighted the right thing. I wanted to be sure that we had highlighted the right thing because remember that was the one where the definition was not right with the word. The definition was kind of under, which is what I had you highlight, but I wanted to be sure that it matched on the back, and it did. Okay, so again, everything is in the passage. They're 4 points apiece. Good luck. Have a great day.